President Joe Biden has said he does not know whether Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding off on agreeing a Gaza ceasefire deal in order to influence next month's US election. In his first appearance at a White House press briefing of his presidency, Biden told reporters, "Whether he's trying to influence the election, I don't know, but I'm not counting on that. If you have a mouse, you have to play this game." Desert order. He then directed a terse comment at his longtime ally, "No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None, he said. And I think Netanyahu should remember that. Some Democrats have voiced concern that Netanyahu is ignoring the US president's calls to negotiate a ceasefire and hostage release deal in order to harm the party's chances in November. Earlier this week, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy told CNN, "I don't think you have to be a hopeless cynic to read some of Israel's actions, some of Prime Minister Netanyahu's actions, as connected to the American election." Polls suggest the escalating violence in the Middle East and the failure to secure a diplomatic agreement is hurting Biden and his replacement as the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris. The president's approval rating among Arab Americans has plummeted over the past year amid the devastation in Gaza, something that could prove damaging to the party's chances in November. Biden has been pushing for a diplomatic agreement between Israel and Hamas for months, and has indicated several times that one is close. A deal before the election would be a major boost for the president and the Democratic Party, but appears increasingly unlikely. Simple guide. Everything you need to know about the vote. Explainer. What Harris or Trump would do in power. Disinfo. Pro- and anti-Trump voters united by one belief. Polls. Who is winning the race for the White House? While the Biden administration has criticized Hamas for failing to reach an agreement, the president has also expressed increasing public frustration with Netanyahu, who he recently said was not doing enough to strike a deal. Some US officials have reportedly assessed that Netanyahu does not believe a diplomatic agreement would be in his political interest, as members of his coalition would oppose it. Hamas is not there with a deal. There's not a deal in the making, unfortunately, the Israeli Prime Minister said earlier this month, just hours after a US official said it was 90% complete. The increasingly fractious relationship between Biden and Netanyahu, who have known one another for decades, contrasts with the friendly relationship the Israeli leader had with former President Donald Trump, the current Republican nominee. Israel, meanwhile, has continued strikes on Gaza and pushed ahead with a ground invasion in southern Lebanon. It has also vowed to respond to an Iranian ballistic missile attack this week. At his appearance at Friday's press briefing, which came as a shock to the reporters in the room, Biden responded to concern that Israel could strike Iranian oil fields in retaliation. "The Israelis have not concluded what they are going to do in terms of a strike," he said. "If I were in their shoes, I'd be thinking about other alternatives than striking oil fields." Biden caused oil prices to rise on Thursday when he said the US was discussing with Israel the possibility of strikes on Iran's oil infrastructure.